My name is Sunny, and in today's video, we are going to learn one of the most crucial concepts in Angular, lifecycle hooks. So, whether you are a fresher or experienced, understanding these hooks is very important for building dynamic and efficient Angular application. So, let's start. So let's understand what are Angular lifecycle hooks. Angular lifecycle hooks are special methods that allow the developers to tap into specific moments in a component lifecycle, such as initialization, change detection, and destruction. So these hooks enable the developers to execute custom logic when these event occurs. So let's take a look at the eight most commonly used lifecycle hooks and understand how they work. So first one is ngOnChanges. These hooks gets triggered whenever an input property value changes. It is useful when our component needs to react to changes in input data. So this is one of the example uh, in which we can see we have to use implements on changes, and then we have to create this on changes method where we can see uh, any changes occurring in the input data, whether it's previous data or it's a current data. I will show you examply. I will show you practically so you can understand it. Next one is ngOnInit. So this hook is called once after the first ngOnChanges method. It is useful for component initialization such as fetching data from API. Then ngDoCheck. These hooks get triggered during every change detection cycle. It is useful when we need to implement custom logic in the by change detection. And fourth is ngAfterContentInit. This hook is called once after the Angular projects external content into the components view using ngContent. And the fifth one is ngAfterContentChecked. It is called after every change detection cycle for the projected content. Then ngAfterViewInit. It is called once after the component view and its child views have been fully initialized. ng after view checked. It is called after every change detection cycle for the component view. And last one is ng on destroy. This hook is called just before the component is destroyed. It is mainly used to clean up resources and unsubscribe from observables. So this is the sequence of the life cycle hooks, and we already discussed in the same sequence: ng on changes, ng on init, ng do check, ng after content init, and so on. And there are some use cases which we will discuss after creating some practical example. So let's do it practically. So I created one component already, so which I named as live hooks component. So here I have created these hooks as well, but let's understand one by one. I'm just going to comment it for now. So what I have done here, I have created this component, and the selector name is f live hooks, and in the data binding component I am calling it as a child component. And if you are seeing this line number 11 input get address, so it will come from data binding component, and this address is set in the data binding component. So what I am going to do, So now let's see how this ng on changes work. Initially, I I open the page in browser. So you can see ng on changes is called, and what is the current value? Daily. Previous value is undefined. Now I will change it. I will change it in my data binding component, and so whatever the change will be, it will pass in line number 16 uh, uh, in the life cycle, this life hook component, and it will be received with the help of an input decorator in line number 11. So I am printing this value, or I am showing this value with the help of a binding in the component live hook component HTML. So now please see the console carefully. Delhi, Chandigarh. So now see, whenever this value is getting changed, automatically ng on changes is receiving this as a simple change. So here previous value was gu and current value is gur. So let's uh, okay, so let's put it something different. So whenever I am changing this value, ng on changes hook is receiving it, and it is receiving previous value and current value. So this hook is called whenever an input property changes. The next one is ng on init, and it will be called once after the first ng on changes. It means initially ng on changes will be called, and after it ng on init will be called. So it is called after the first ng on changes. So let's understand it and try to implement it practically. Now you see, as I refreshed my page, first of all ng on changes is called, and then ng on init is called, and this hook is used for component initialization and fetching initial data. Let's say we want to fetch something from the API, so we can do or put the code inside this ng on init lifecycle hook. The next one is ngDoCheck. It is called during every change detection run, and it is used for custom change detection logic as well. So let's try to implement it. Now again, please see in the console what is happening. So you can see, first of all ng on changes is called, then ng on init called, and then ngDoCheck is called. Let's say I am going to uh, like this. Any change is happening in the page, it is detecting, but actually this hook makes the page sometime, it create a performance issue. So it should be used when it is very very necessary to use it, otherwise this hook should be avoided. Now the next hook is ngAfterContentInit. It is called once after the component's content ng content has been projected, and it will run only for once. So let's try to do it. So you can see ngAfterContentInit has been called, and it will be called only once. If we are changing something, it is not going to be called. So next one is ngAfterContentChecked. It is called after every change detection cycle for the projected content. So there are few more life cycle hooks, but the video is getting longer, so I will be creating another video to complete it. But for now, you can see how I implemented 5 hooks in this example. So you can see ng after content checked is called again and again whenever I'm changing something. So it is also, you can say that it is called after every change detection cycle. So guys, so this was the information on the Angular lifecycle hooks. So I will be completing it in the next video, and that's it for this video. So I hope you have a clear understanding of the first five life cycle hooks of Angular. So let me know in the comment if you found this helpful or you have any question, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more Angular content, and see you in the next one. Thank you.